Hey everyone, this is Lundh from Mouse. I just wanted to show off a little bit of my Holy Shocker that people have been asking about. It is a bit different from most other people, is that it's very minimalistic in what it's trying to do. You don't have that many buttons. You basically just try to spawn as much Glimmer as possible, which for the unknowing is Glimmer of Light. Glimmer of Light has gotten some changes. Holy Shock now leaves a Glimmer of Light on any friendly target, healed, lasts for 20 seconds. It now, instead of stacking from 3, it stacks infinitely. And the second change is that it now heals for 50% of the Holy Shock, and it now increases the healing taken from Holy Shocks by 50% on the targets with Glimmer on them. There is a few ways to abuse this. It is primarily through Divine Favor, which you have here. You have Divine Favor, which is empowered by Brilliance of Faith. And then you have Swift Favor, which reduces Divine Favor by a lot. The second abuse is Oracle, which you have Oracle of the Eclipse, and then you have the 3 things here, which spawn Oracle charges. The easiest way to explain this build is I've made a WeakAuras package for it, just to make it a little bit easier for myself. You can see I have 2 Holy Shocks here, where one of them, you can see here, spawns a glow on my Holy Shock, which means that I have Divine Favor up, and that I'm supposed to be spamming like Holy Shock. Otherwise, the rotation is very simple when you're moving. Is basically just flash, shock, flash, shock, flash, shock, flash, shock. It is a downtime rotation, because otherwise most of the time you want to just be using like Divine Favor shocks like this, or use your Oracle charges, which is here, which you can reset the cooldown of your Holy Shock, and then expend an Oracle charge. Oracle itself heals for a fuck ton, so it's a build that tries to maximize Holy Shocks, Glimmers, and Oracle charges. You can see I have a Beacon WeakAuras here. Let's just get into combat. Proc the Spirit Form. And let's just check out a few WeakAuras. Loyal Light is being tracked beneath the Beacon, which for the people who don't know, is this. It makes your Beacon heal more, as long as you keep healing your Beacon. Otherwise, there's a few WeakAuras like this one with Holy Light. You can see Holy Light is now being used, which means that you are in Lundh, which spawned a few Oracle charges, which you now can expend as you want while moving, which does a lot of healing. And now Holy Light will change to now being on cooldown. You cannot, like while this Holy Light is here, you cannot generate any more charges from your Holy Light. We don't really care about the phases themselves. We just care about the fact that we go into phases, spawn more Oracle charges. So Holy Light is off. You can see me using Nature Swiftness there, together with the Healing Wave. Healing Wave we have here, together with Holy Lights. We don't cast these almost ever at all. We only use them to spawn more Oracle charges, which is basically just like when you have to have a good need for burst healing, you'll just use that. I'll show you a little bit of an old footage I have from a Karazhan run that we did with a raid trial with 40% reduced healing in the raid trial on a curator, just to check out the burst healing of it. Like even in 40% reduced healing, you can do a fuck ton of burst healing. There is a few macros that you have to be using to use this build. Is this. You have Holy Shock and Oracle of the Eclipse, which is basically Holy Shock on 3, which is every time you have some shock charges, this thing will glow green through the WeakAuras. And then you have this, which is just the Divine Favor, which will glow yellow whenever you can just spam Holy Shock through Divine Favor. And Beacon will just glow whenever it's not set. There's a separate macro, which is my Avenging Wrath, which uses my Bangle. Whatever trinket you have, you can also play this Intellect eventually. I will maybe swap to Intellect in Tempest Keep. Currently it's SSC, which is out, which we did a bit ago, I think. Yeah, we did the SSC raid trial, which was kind of easy for this build as well. Like, it has some really great bosses in there as well for this build. But we're waiting for TK to release to swap to Intellect, basically. Otherwise, I'm currently playing Spirit, which is very, very standard, I would say, Spirit setup, where you have like dual wield for the Earth Livings and the double enchants. You have the tier 4 set, you have the Circlet of Arcane Might for the procs. You have a lot of good things in Spirit. I think eventually this will be played Intellect, but we can take that on another day. The build is currently up on the Architect. If we go out, you can just search for Lundh's Glimmershock Oracle. It is a little bit outdated by the fact that I have swapped, I believe, one crit talent for one thing on Halos, which is Light of Life. Light of Life is great in raid trial environments. In 5-mans, it's not very great, because like you want your Halos to just spawn Light of Life on everybody in raids. In 5-mans, you don't need it because you have so many other ways to just top everybody, like using your oracles correctly. Otherwise, this build is very mobile. It's very specific in what it's trying to do. It tries to save a lot of ability talents, so you have room for things like double blink. You have divine dash. You have your different defensive cooldowns. Like you have room for Cloak of Shadows. You have divine sacrifice. Like you have the double halos. You have Tears Deliverance. All those things. And then you have, I just showed a macro, which is Avenging Wrath and the Trinket, but it also plays a thing called Chosen of the Elune. Chosen of the Elune needs this, Eclipse. Normally, if we take a look at Eclipse, normally you only need this, but you also need this if you want to be playing it the way I do. Is the way that I don't use my Avenging Wrath ever until I need it. Like, check like your raid frames. Oh shit, everybody's dying. I've just used literally all of my Oracle charges. I have none left. Let's say I've been on the move. I've been spamming Oracle charges like an absolute demon. I now have no fucking charges left. And we need healing. Okay, I'm dropping the totem and I'm proccing my Avenging Wrath. You see, I get 3 charges back. I now have some super empowered oracles of the Eclipse that I can spend. Absolutely insane. Which is pretty much why it's there. It's to have 3 pocket charges through this, because you proc 2 eclipses. You get 2 charges from each eclipse because of your other talents, which means that you have 3 pocket charges that you can just expend whenever you want to. But we can take a look a little bit of how it plays in a trial environment on a curator fight, for example, that I played. I made the WeakAuras for this setup after I did that raid, just to make the build a little easier to play, because I kept fucking up, like using divine favors together with oracles, which means that you waste charges. There's a lot of things that can just be avoided by just playing with WeakAuras. But yeah, let's take a look. Okay, we just take a look at the old version that I have here. I don't have the same WeakAura package as I just showed you at the dummies, but we can take a look. The build plays very aggressively in the way that it tries to expend oracle charges whenever you have like 3 or 4 people who need topping, or in very rare circumstances you expend them to top a single player, just because they would be dead if you don't. Here we have a little bit too low DPS for the flares on this fight, so we take a lot of damage, and I think I'm spiking at like 13k HPS at some point. We can just like keep it running for a little bit. And this is even with me fucking up the build a lot, because with the WeakAuras package you shouldn't be wasting as many glimmers as I'm wasting right here. The other healer on this fight is playing Radiance, and a very good player at that. He's very good at playing Radiance, but this build absolutely is so good, dude. Like, it's so good. It gets a little worse in higher parties, like our 25-mans in like SSC, but it's still extremely good in environments like this, where you have like just 15 man you want to heal, or like 10 man. In a 10-man situation, you would be like half and half. You're like topping everybody and you're topping tank. And then your second healer would be maybe like a hot healer, or like maybe a holy light healer or something. Somebody who can take care of the tanks. But this healer build just fits in so many places. It's just so good. And I think that's pretty much it. If you want to check out the build, you can just check out on the Architect, or you can ask me in game for the macros or WeakAuras that I'm using. I'll try and update the build on the Architect to include the WeakAuras, the biz list, and the everything I'm using pretty much. The REs that I'm using is very basic. It'll all be showed in the Architect pretty much. You can just check it out on the Architect. It was just to show a bit of gameplay from the build for the people who don't know the power of the new Holy Shock. Yeah, this is Lundh from Mouse. I'm signing out. See you guys.